I've had clients tell me way too much information about their stamina, and I'm like, okay, I just need to go back to what I was doing before. They don't necessarily know that that's not realistic, but if I'm telling them, oh, you can't do that, like that's a little discouraging. So if it's in the lingerie, if it's in a bra and underwear or whatever, if it's naked, whatever it is, take the progress photos. So while you're on this journey, you can start to see the changes. You still need some sort of accountability, something outside of yourself to push you when you don't feel like doing it.
Welcome to Candid Talks About Sex for Saints, where we get candid about love, sex, wellness, and relationships. Just so you know, I am Tammy, a wife, a mother, best-selling author, your favorite intimacy and relationship coach, the host of this fantabulous podcast where we promote sex and still keep it God. And I got a question for you. Have you ever wished that someone had taught you more about sex from a faith-filled perspective? Or have you ever had questions that no one could answer? Or felt like if you knew then what you know now, you might have made some decisions a little different? Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. This podcast is dedicated to just that. We're going to fill in the blanks. We're going to break some silence and help you to grow in godly intimacy without shame. And listen, y'all, on today's podcast, I am excited because I have my girl, Coach Breezy, on the line. What's up, Coach Breezy? What's up?
Hello. How you feeling, Coach Tammy?
I'm good. I am excited about today because, man, I always get women who have questions about health is a big part, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about all these different things today. But before we get into it, I do have this little segment that I do. It's the truth versus myth. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and you let me know whether you think it's the truth or whether you think it's a myth. It just lets the audience know the direction of the conversation, and I think it's fun. So let's go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So the first question that I have is, if you change your body, then all your insecurities will be gone.
That is definitely a myth.
It is. But you know, a lot of people go with the mindset that if I get my body right, I'm gonna be right. But it really starts in the mind, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's a huge thing. A lot of people come to me thinking like, oh, I just want to get this right. I just want to lose my stomach, and I'll be good. Like, baby, that's. I'm glad you're here. How about that? I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, because that's where it starts. Okay. So the next one is, only very thin or conventional perfect bodies are sexy or desirable.
Huge myth. Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
Not true at
We
all.
got some big, beautiful people out here. Okay.
Beautiful. Yes. Confident,
And
beautiful, healthy.
yes, I was about to say that because sometimes, like, just because they might be a little heavy set doesn't mean that they're not healthy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between that, but we can get into that too.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Okay. Another one, your partner can fix your body insecurities. Just reassure and praise you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love my man to death, and he affirms me so much, and I love him for that. But he cannot solve my insecurities.
That's right. He cannot. But a lot of people feel like if their partner is not affirming them, then they're just not together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely a huge misconception that your partner can solve all your problems like that. And you have to have that already figured out before you get into that.
For sure. Okay, let's get another one because I like these. Women of all shapes and sizes, even those who are thin or fit, can struggle with body image.
That's true. 1,000% true.
Yeah, that is true.
A lot of the women that you see in the gym that are going the 5, 6, 7 days a week, going super hard, that look good, their mental it's not coming from a healthy mindset. It's not coming from a good space. So it definitely is true.
Yeah. That's interesting because I never even really thought about that. Like, I'm thinking if you're going to be in the gym all day, every day, like that's your thing, that, you got that mindset together. But that's a different perspective. And I like that. Yeah. I like to hear that. Okay. One more. If someone says my partner loves me as I am, that solves my body issues.
I wish. No. Even here, you lying. Like, if you're not in the right headspace and you hear them like affirm you sometimes, you can even look at it like a negative because you don't believe it yourself. So them saying it doesn't mean much.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I fully agree. Well, thank you for partaking in that little segment for me. It's always a
I
little fun
like
when I do
that. I
that.
like that.
Thank you, thank you. But I am excited about today's show. The title is called "Why Sexy Starts in the Mind." So I don't know if you know, but sexy does start in the mind. We're gonna get into a lot of that today. But before we get into the conversation, I do want you to introduce yourself because I didn't do that. We have Coach Breezy on the line, y'all. Tell
Yeah.
everybody a little bit about you.
Okay. I'm Coach Breezy. I am a performance coach. I've been a health and fitness coach for 8 years now. I've done a variety of in person, online coaching, athlete coaching. I've coached at the collegiate level, the YMCA. So I've got lifetime fitness. I've been doing this for a long time. I love what I do. Pretty much, I teach people how to balance health and wellness alongside their business or their careers, and I help athletes increase their performance.
I love that. I love that, y'all. She is doing her thing out here, y'all. I don't know if y'all see her, but I'm gonna put all her links at the end of this. We're gonna get back to that, but make sure you follow her on social media because she is out here doing it, showing it to you, and doing all the things. I met Coach Breezy in our community. Um, Shout out to MMU, and
Woo-hoo.
I know, right? I reached out to her because I've been get myself my health and wellness together. And so I've been ride that little wave, since I met her, get on like just get accountable and start doing the things, doing what I'm supposed to do. And of course, sometimes I don't do what I'm supposed to do. But I have been doing right. I have been doing right. I just want you to know that. But I wanted to bring her on here because I have so many women that I coach. So many women who are struggling with body issues. And when I was doing some research, I found out that it was about 90% of women who struggle with body issues. And I have a lot of women who come to me and they say, I want to feel sexy for my spouse. I want to look in the mirror. I want to see all my flaws. Right. So, from your perspective, as a personal trainer, why do or not why, but what do you notice is the connection between, body image and confidence outside the gym?
um, Honestly, a lot of people come to me originally, like we talked about before, because they're having body issues. They're not confident, or they, don't like what they see in the mirror. So the mindset plays a huge role in it because you can have somebody who is out of shape but super confident. So they're in their mind, they're in the best shape of their lives, and honestly, they're pretty unhealthy. But their mindset, you can't tell them anything. And then you can have somebody else that's super fit. They have the shape, the dream shape that people want, and all the things, but their mindset is messed up, so their confidence is low. So they carry
Yeah.
themselves a little bit differently, even though they have that. Like if your mindset isn't attached to the right things, if you're not looking at yourself the right way, if you're not affirming yourself, if you're not confident in what you see in the mirror regardless of what you see, then we got a lot of work to do from that perspective before we can even get into anything else.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that because everything starts in the mind. And one of the things that it always breaks my heart when I hear about women who come to me and they're like, man, like I don't even feel confident enough to even embrace my spouse because of the way that I am. And when you think like, man, that is all your mindset, you're probably looking into it a little bit more, and it begins in your mind. So if you could actually see yourself, so how do you, when they come to you in the gym, right, or not even the gym, but when they come to you, how do you even get them to a space where they can start realizing like, hey, like there's something going on in the mind there, we got to start there? Like, what's that
Mhm.
process like?
Yeah, so it's different for everybody. That initial conversation goes a little bit differently for everyone. I always ask the question, why are you here? What drove you to actually come here? Because it even takes a lot just to get on a consultation call. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot if you're somebody that's never been in the gym, or if you're somebody that was in the gym and you fell off, to take that initial step. It takes a lot. So that's the first question that we always ask. And then from there, whether it's or have a trip coming up, or um my doctor told me that this is going on, or, whatever the case may be. Or I try on a pair of jeans that's been in my closet and I can't fit them anymore. And that just made me feel really bad. So,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, we kind of go that direction. But we start by, when it comes to that part, once we break through like the original why, what is the reason why you're here? We break down, what do they actually love about themselves? So if you can tell me three things that you absolutely love about yourself that you wouldn't change for the world, we start with that. And then we affirm that. We're continuing to build off of that. We're not building off of negativity. Like, what do you want to change? What do you want to fix? What do you not like? We're not building off of that, because that's not helping anyone. So we start
Yeah.
with that and we build off of that confidence. Because even if I do get you in a solid routine, if I have you doing these exercises, these workouts, if you're still having negative self talk, then you're not even going to be able to fully embrace the results. You're not going to see the results because your mind is holding you back, whether you realize it or not. You're doing the exercises, you're not confident in doing the exercises, you're not confident when you go into the spaces. That holds you back a lot. People that have
Yeah.
that initial mindset shift, they see so many more results a lot quicker, just because they know that they can do it. They believe in themselves enough to do it. So it's really just breaking down that barrier of, do you believe that you could do this? Do you believe that you deserve this? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, because if you don't believe it, then you're not going to work towards the goals that you set for yourself, and you're just not going to change. Right. And so you'll continue to have that same mindset that you always had. So what are some of the little things that people would initially do to start breaking those patterns with that negativity that they say?
Just proving to yourself that you can, honestly.
Yeah.
So whenever I have a new client, we always start by just figuring out where you are first. We can't get somewhere different if we don't know where we're starting. So the first 2 weeks, we just track where we are. We track what our routines are. We track what our habits are. We track what our meals look like. We track what our daily movement looks like. We start with that. We just figure out, what are we working with? What does this look like? And then we just take little steps. So it doesn't take drastic changes. It doesn't take you going from 0 days in the gym to 5 days in the gym. It doesn't take you going from eating out for 3 meals to eating strictly cooked whole meals every day. Like, it takes little things. So you build off of these habit stacking.
Yeah.
Atomic Habits by James Clear. He always talks about habit stacking. And one thing that I noticed whenever I'm reading a self help book, or any type of mindset book or money book or anything like that, it always goes back to fitness,
Yeah.
no matter what. There's always some form of reference about discipline, about habit stacking, about just movement and how that aids into everything that you want to do. But it doesn't come from jumping into the deep end when you don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
So when we're doing that, say your daily movement starts at about 2,000 steps a day. Okay, that's where we're starting. That's not good. That's not bad. We're not saying that's either one. That's neither good or bad. That's where you're starting. Now, how can we increase that from 2,000 to 3,000?
Yeah.
Now, how can we limit the three eating out meals to just two? And then
Mhm.
we prove to yourself that you can do it over time. Habit stacking. Now we look 90 days later, and now you're cooking majority of your meals. Now you're hitting about 10,000 steps a day, but it took little steps and you actually proving to yourself that this is something I'm capable of doing, not something that I see other people doing on social media. I can do this myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you think that, habit stacking and seeing those little results could boost somebody's self-esteem?
It Because you're just showing yourself you can. Because a
Mm.
lot of times you think, when you're going hiking, you're looking at a mountain, all you see is the
Mhm.
top of that mountain.
Yeah.
Right? All you see is this huge mountain. I don't know how I'm going to accomplish it. I don't know how I'm going to get up there, but I'm just going to take one step at a time. You
Hmm.
take one step at a time. You look up now. Okay, so this mountain don't look as tall. It's not as intimidating as it was before. So when you have these big goals, when you're feeling that way, when you're insecure and you're not confident in yourself, you feel like there's 100-pound weight on you.
Hmm.
So how do you start just slowly taking those off, slowly kind of getting that weight off of you, getting that burden off of you, and start building your confidence? You prove to yourself that I'm I can do this.
Yeah.
And you're tracking your progress over time. We're not just saying, okay, we've been in it for a month now and the scale hasn't moved.
Yeah.
Okay, but are you sleeping better?
Hmm.
Okay, but are your clothes fitting a little bit differently? Okay, but are you having a little bit more energy throughout the day? So we're tracking these things because that big audacious goal can seem so far. But when we look
Hmm.
at the little things that's happening along the way, this is a lifestyle we're trying to build. This
Yeah.
is not something that we're expecting to just change overnight when it's been our habits for the past 15 years. Right. So when you start seeing those little
Mhm.
things build up and actually change over time and you start to see your demeanor change a little bit, you're like, okay, but it takes raising your level of awareness. If your level of awareness is not in tune to actually understanding what's going on, and that's where I come in. That's my job, to
Yeah.
help people like really raise that level of awareness, because you don't know what you don't know. There are
Yeah.
changes happening. You just don't know what changes to look for yet.
I love that. I love that. You don't know what changes to look for yet. And I love how you say that because, when we're thinking about the mind and the mentality, um, sometimes we start with these big, grand goals.
Yeah.
And we don't even know, like, we know what we want. We know what we want to look like based off of the images, the imagery that we see, on TV,
Mhm.
magazines, the people who are around us. We're like, oh, I want to look like that one day. And so we create our mindset off of these things that we see. And so I think it's important that you do say that because, you need that accountability to be able to show you, hey, this is what you need to look for. This is how you should look for it. Because ultimately, like if you want to start looking and feeling good, it begins in your mind. And that doesn't transfer over to your relationship until you feel it first. And so do
Mhm.
you see like a lot of women who come to you with like these big exaggerated goals?
100%. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I will say, especially I don't know if this is ironic or not, but ironically, it's always the beginners that have the big audacious goals. Like it's never the I want to lose 10 pounds before this trip. It's like, no, I need to lose 50 pounds in the next 30 days. So we're like, okay, we
Mhm.
have a number that we're shooting for. But that's when we need to go back to our SMART goals, the
Yeah.
specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. We need to make sure all of that is in alignment. Now, that's kind of a touchy conversation to have. Touchy isn't the right word, but it's a sensitive conversation to have with beginners, because if a beginner comes to me saying, I want to lose 50 pounds in the next 30 days, they don't necessarily know that that's not realistic.
Yeah.
But if I'm telling them, oh, you can't do that, like that's a little discouraging. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of about managing, again, the mindset. It's about shifting that perspective and saying, okay, that's the goal, but that timeline may not necessarily be what we need to focus on.
Mhm.
Right. So our timeline may need to be, okay, well, we want to have more energy over the next 30 days. We want to lose a couple inches over the next 30 days. And then, of course, we still have our ultimate goal that we're working towards, but we kind of
Mhm.
manage those expectations a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's important that you say that because, 50 pounds in, a month is crazy work, right?
It's not
But
even healthy to do that.
listen, but we out here, and we being unrealistic with these things. And in our mindset, we're telling ourselves that that's okay. But when we're not accomplishing these things, it kind of sets us back. Do you see where people who have those goals, they or these expectations, where they kind of set themselves back a little bit because of the expectations that they have?
For sure, for sure. And mainly because they get discouraged. They have this goal, and it took a lot for them to even speak that goal out loud. Right. It took a lot, because when you're not confident, when you're kind of in that headspace of just you don't really feel secure in yourself, it takes a lot to say, this is a change that I need to make. Just like AA, like Alcoholics Anonymous, all of that stuff applies. Where they're like, the first step is admitting you have a problem. And a
Yeah.
lot of times you're going through that process and you're just so used to being overweight, or you're so used to your knees hurting, you're used to your back hurting, you're used to all of these things. It's just you've made it a part of your lifestyle at this point. So for you to say, I want a change, I want something different, I deserve something different, and you go out and set this big audacious goal, then
Mhm.
when you don't have the right coach to manage that expectation, because some coaches will just let you go, like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Some because they want a sale, they want a new client. So they're gonna be like, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it. And then when you
Yeah.
don't hit that goal, that's when you quit. And that's when
Yeah.
you're back to where you started because you're discouraged. You're like, okay, something's wrong with me because
Yeah.
I didn't hit that big goal in the timeline that it was supposed to, or the timeline that we said that I talked about. I didn't do that. Right.
Mhm.
So it's managing those expectations and still pushing you for sure. Like you're still being pushed, you're still working towards the next step, but it can be discouraging when your expectations aren't managed the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's so important to have a coach who is able to, speak to the truth
Mhm.
versus how you're feeling emotionally, because the emotions can kind of lead you in any direction
Right.
as
Yeah.
you're going through this journey, and you need somebody to be like, no, this is the reality. Right.
Yeah.
Let's come down a little bit and let's start working this process out. And like you said, you're not gonna have many people who could invest in the time to be able to do that. But
Mhm.
why do you think it is important to have that accountability, for somebody to like walk with you and help you along the way?
It's important just because you need somebody to push you when you don't necessarily feel motivated. 'Cause on this journey, when you're first starting out, that's honestly when you see the most results. So when you're a beginner and you're just starting out, you're doing all the things now, you're in a new routine, you're starting a new lifestyle, you will cut weight quick because it's
Yeah.
new. Your body is adapting, your body is changing, and it's not something that your body is used to, so it's going to adapt quickly. Now, the hard part is when you're 30, 60, 90 days in, and now maybe you're starting to hit a little bit of a plateau because your body has adjusted, right?
Hmm.
Your body has understood, your body now understands what's going on. Okay, so there's some changes that need to happen. And if you don't have the right systems, if you don't have the right program, if you don't have the right coach, then you're going to look at that and say, "Oh, well, something's not right. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this right. I just need to go back to what I was doing before."
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
managing those expectations and really understanding how does this individual's body adapt to this, and how do we need to make these adjustments going along the way. If you
Yeah.
don't have, even me, like there are coaches, there are trainers. If a trainer does not have a trainer, if a coach does not have a coach, they don't need to be your coach.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect them to, you can't expect me to be able to hold you accountable when I don't have the right systems in place for myself.
Hmm.
Right. So everybody needs somebody to lean on. And it doesn't necessarily, like, of course, like my level of accountability and the things that I need is going to be different from a beginner who's just trying to get into coaching. But you still need some sort of accountability, something outside of yourself to push you when you don't feel like doing it. Because there are going to be plenty of days when you don't feel like doing it. After the
Yeah.
first 30 days, you're not necessarily motivated anymore. Now it has to be discipline. Now it has to be, okay, what is the ultimate goal? That's why in the very beginning, we figure out what is the why. What is
Yeah.
that reason that is actually pushing us to do this? Because that reason needs to be in the forefront of your mind when you don't feel like doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And that coach, that accountability partner, is the person that's supposed to help you actually figure that out and remind you of that.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. That accountability is important, y'all. And when it comes to, being feeling sexy, feeling good about yourself, which what I just heard her say is that it's a process, is what you're basically saying. It doesn't just happen overnight. It is a process in order for you to get there. And sometimes you have to try to do things to figure out what is working for you. And as along the way, you have that accountability, partner, that coach who is going to coach you and say, okay, let's try this and let's try that. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You need somebody that can adjust for you, that can, you don't need to be, when you're on the person on that journey, the last thing you need is to be the one to figure it out.
Mhm.
Like, you do not need to be, because there's so much pressure and there's already so much going on in that journey, that to figure out what to do, how to do it, when to do it, all of that should be the last thing you have to do. You should just be able to get a program, get something, and just do it and be held accountable to do it.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most seamless way to actually hit your results, to actually get what you're looking for when you're on this journey as a beginner, for sure.
Have you joined the waitlist for my brand new book, Hey God, Can I? This is your go-to ABC guide for married saints. your questions about God, sex, and intimacy. This isn't just a book, it's a resource to help you grow spiritually while strengthening your marriage bed. So if you've ever wondered what God really says about sex and intimacy, this book is for YOU. Tap the link, sign up for the waitlist, and be the first to know when it drops. Don't wait, sis. Get on the list today.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of clients who are like, my husband, he says I'm beautiful, but I just don't feel like it. Like, I don't believe it. Like, why do you think that the compliments from your spouse isn't enough? Like, why do you think that?
Because you have to do the inner work.
Yeah.
Like, and I will say that it helps. Okay.
Hmm.
Having a partner who affirms you and does not allow you to have that negative self talk and really encourages you when you're feeling down, it for sure helps. But you will end up resenting that person if you have not done the inner work. If you cannot look in the mirror and be confident in yourself and know that you are beautiful inside and out either way,
Hmm.
then I mean, that's a lot of pressure to even put on one person anyway, to
Yeah.
want them to be that person for you. Like, you have to do the inner work and say, okay, number one, like from the very beginning, what do I love about myself? What do I enjoy about myself? How do I spend time with myself? How do I embrace myself? You have to figure all of that out first, and then you can take that to your partner. But if you haven't done that, then it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard
Yeah. Yeah.
to have somebody else create that space for you.
Yeah. But a lot of women do it though.
A lot of
Like, they're
women, yeah,
depending on somebody else to compliment them, to make sure that they can feel good about something, and I think that's very unfortunate because, like you said, it does start in the mind, and it is a lot of pressure to put on one person. How do you think someone should be supporting, for example, um, how should your spouse be supporting you if you are on your journey? Like, should they be like, "No, you don't need to be eating that." You know what I mean? Like
yeah. I think that's very, very individualized.
Mhm.
So some people, they want that tough love. They want that, like, oh no, you shouldn't be eating that. Oh, why are you eating this? And then other people, they need a little bit of tough love, a little bit of encouraging. Like, hey, why don't we eat this today instead?
Mhm.
And a lot of times I've had clients some clients, they can do the journey on their own while their husband or their wife, their spouse is not really on that same journey. So they're eating different meals, they're living different lifestyles, they're waking up at different times. And some people aren't in the mental space to really do that on their own. Like, they can't push themselves enough while if their spouse isn't on that journey with them. So it's very individualized. I think that a good combination of both is needed.
Mhm.
For me personally, my boyfriend, he'll call me out. Like, if I said I'm gonna go to the gym and I don't go to the gym, he's like, "Oh well, why aren't you at the gym? Let's go now. What are you doing?" Like, and then sometimes, like, the not eating, like skipping meals, sometimes is a big problem that I have myself, and he'll call me out on it. But then there are other times where it's more encouraging, where he's like, "Did you eat today?" Just like checking in, just good check-ins.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's every person gonna be different. Just like every person needs a different coach. Some people need that coach that's cussing you out every session, and then some people need that coach that's just like, okay, here's where we are.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And I can agree with that. For me, my husband, I'm married to a Haitian, okay? So I say that because they don't have filters.
you guys,
Okay?
it's tough love for sure, for
They
sure.
it's tough love. It's like, and you say you're gonna lose some weight, then just go lose some weight. Like, there's no in between. You do what you say because you said you're gonna do it.
Mhm.
So there's no real compassion
Yeah.
or empathy there. And so, but I'm good because I got tough skin, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I'm one of them. Like, I'm confident about who I am. So regardless, I firmly believe that you have to affirm the body that you have right now as you're working towards your goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So absolutely. But how did you even get into this space, this business?
In health and fitness, so I've been an athlete all my life. In college, I ran track. In high school, I ran track, played basketball, volleyball, all of the things. I grew up doing all the sports. So naturally, I was the I was a trainer before I knew it was a trainer. All of the family members and the friends are coming up like, oh, what exercise can I do for this, or what should I be doing for this, or can you work out with me? Can you do this? So that started in high school. And then my sophomore year of college, I had a coach that worked at the YMCA as well, and she she helped me get a front desk job. So that was kind of my first exposure into health and wellness outside of athletics, because my only real exposure had been in athletics. Um, so I kind of got into it, and that's when I started actually doing some one-on-one coaching. I did some group fitness, I did boot camps, and I fell in love with it. I always knew that I wanted to work with athletes. Athletes was my number one priority, my number one favorite, strength and conditioning for athletes. So I did that at Georgia Southern and Mississippi State. Did that for a while. I worked in corporate fitness. So I worked at Lifetime for a while. So all of those things, I've seen many different aspects of health and wellness. At Lifetime, it was way more like we're doing blood work, we're doing anabolic testing, we're testing your metabolism, we're doing all these things. Whereas, it was similar to collegiate training, because collegiate training we're doing max testing, we're doing velocity testing, we're doing all these things. And I just love the science of it. Like I love to see the body do things that you didn't even know it could do.
Yeah.
That was so interesting and so intriguing to me throughout the entire time, whether it was like seeing somebody's transformation, seeing somebody's confidence boost, seeing somebody jump further, seeing somebody perform better on the court, in the field. All that part of it just like that lit me up every time.
Yeah. I love that. I love that because this isn't something that you just started yesterday.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Basically, you've been in this space your whole life. How did you develop such a passion for, I don't even want to say passion, but because you are very patient, right? And when I approached you, it came across like it was so non-judgmental. Like I felt safe, I felt comfortable to be able to talk to you about, all the issues that I had going on. Like, is that something, because I'm thinking in terms of like many different coaches, they don't all have that skill, right?
Mhm.
Is that something that comes natural to you, or like is that something that you just developed?
I mean, I would like to say that it comes natural. And it's just a part of my personality, because that's how I treat my friendships, that's how I treat relationships, everything. Like I'm very like I like to listen way more than I talk. So I like to listen to what people have going on. And then it's also interesting to me to see people's different stories. Everybody has different stories. I've met so many people across my path, and just hearing different people's backgrounds is very interesting to me. So I'm very open to learning that. And I've seen other coaches kind of discourage people, and I never want to be that person for somebody on somebody's fitness journey. I never want to be the person that discourage, like it sickens me to even think about like somebody feeling like they can't come to me as a coach, or they can't get help from me even if they're not my client. Like I've had even people just, when I was working at the gym, people would come up and ask questions, and I love that. Like ask me all the
Yeah.
questions, that's what I'm here for. And if I don't have the answer, I'm going to find out, so I'm going to find somebody who does. So I mean I've studied psychology about it. My favorite course in college was exercise, no, what was it called? It was like exercise psychology, sports psychology, that's what it was,
Mhm.
sports psychology. That was my favorite course, and I learned so much. So it's probably a part of just personality, and then it's also part
Yeah.
of like just my development as a coach and the things that I've learned along the way too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because you get to understand people differently when you focus on, not just what you want to see them accomplish, but how to mentally grasp what it is that they want to accomplish too. So I think
Yeah.
that's really good. As an intimacy coach, like I see women who shut down in the bedroom because they don't feel attractive. From your coaching side, right? Like how does, I want to say, like, poor body image show up in like everyday behaviors?
Um you pull away a lot. And that's anybody. When you're not confident in yourself, regardless of the reason, you pull back, and there are certain things that you want to do, but you won't necessarily find yourself doing just because you're not confident enough to do it. Um, I just think it takes patience on both ends. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be honest. You have to be transparent, because if you don't say it out loud, just like in the very beginning, from that big audacious goal, if you don't have the courage to say it out loud and to say what the problems are and what's going on, then you're never going to be able to get past it. So it's you don't want to be that one that kept quiet and let it build up inside of you, and to the point where you can't even communicate how you're feeling anymore. I've gotten to that point where communication in a relationship was not my strong suit. So, and thankfully I'm with somebody that actually forces me to have the conversations, like, or else it would just build up and eventually it would just break us apart. And I won't even be able to explain why or what's happening. So I think it's just making sure that you're transparent and honest with yourself and with your partner to say, I'm comfortable with this. I'm not necessarily comfortable with this. Let's start with this, or this is what I want to do. This is how I want to feel. This is what I want this to go like, but I'm personally not there yet. So it has to be like a gradual conversation that you can have. And if that's not a conversation you can have with your partner, then number one, you shouldn't be with that person,
Yeah.
or you shouldn't be with them yet. One of the
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. I like how you added that yet part on.
Right.
Some of them
Because
be
you haven't
holding
done the
on.
inner work. We gotta do the inner work.
They be holding on, child.
Right.
You know you need to let that go, right? But okay, hold on for a
Exactly.
little bit longer, and then you'll see.
Right.
No, but so obviously there is that link between intimacy and physical fitness. So do you believe that improving physical health and body confidence can directly improve intimacy?
Oh, for sure. For sure. You're I've had clients tell me way too much information about their stamina. And I'm like, okay, but by you doing that, like, number one, your metabolism is boosted, your adrenaline is boosted, you're seeing more results, you have more energy, you can last longer typically. You're more confident in yourself by just the things that you can do. You're stronger, you're able to hold yourself up a little bit longer, you're able to do things that you didn't weren't able to do before. Like, there's so many direct and indirect results that come from that. I would say the biggest one is just stamina,
Yeah.
like stamina and confidence to do certain things. So you're testing your heart health by strength training. Strength training is what I live and breathe by. Strength and conditioning. So when you're lifting weights, you're building muscle, you're burning fat, you're increasing your metabolism, your cardio is better, your cardiovascular health is better, all of the things. So that alone can
Yeah.
can help increase that.
I love that because that stamina is important.
Yeah.
For
There's
sure.
lots of controversy going on. I've seen on threads lately about whether 5 minutes or 30 minutes is the peak or the threshold. So I've just been,
You know the average is about 5 minutes.
yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And
The
some
average is
people,
about 5 minutes. And I mean, you got those moments where you want 30 minutes and you got those moments where you want five. But the goal is I want to be able to last 30 minutes if I could.
exactly, exactly.
I
It's
want to
it's
be able to
a
last
choice.
40.
It's a choice,
Not all the
no.
time.
Right.
But a lot of times
Yeah.
we want that stamina. We want that stamina. I love that answer. And so I want you to give tips on how people can, do little things to improve their body confidence for their bedrooms.
I would say the first thing is increasing your daily activity overall. So by just, again, like we do with every initial consult, the first 2 weeks you're just tracking where you are. So increase your daily steps and get outside, go for walks. I don't If you have pets, take your pets for longer extended walks, or it doesn't necessarily have to be like you're going out for a run or you're doing 2 and 3 miles. Like, no, just increase your activity. If you were walking a block, walk 3 blocks, something like that. Um, That's going to be the first place to start. So that's going to help by increasing your heart health. That's going to start boosting your metabolism. Not eating, moving after meals is going to be a huge thing too. These are all like simple things that you can implement. Moving for 5 minutes after you eat, um, increasing your daily steps. And then just the other thing I would say is lifting. Well, no. Okay. Simple things. Mobility, increasing your mobility. That's going to be a huge thing because a lot of people don't realize the limitations in their hips affects their knees, affects their back, affects their shoulders. So if you're not doing mobility, if you're not moving your body, if you're not able to get in certain positions, then without pain, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So
Yeah.
start by moving in the mornings, 5 minutes of mobility when you first wake up in the morning, increasing your daily steps throughout the day, and moving after meals. That's going to help with your digestive system, because you're not just sitting on that food after you eat. You're actually moving and allowing your body to do what it does best. So those are the three things that I would say to implement now that can
Mhm.
increase your intimacy.
Yeah, I love that. And I just want to add to that. Wear the lingerie.
Wear the lingerie.
Wear the
That was the other thing I was
lingerie.
gonna say. I forgot. I was gonna say take progress photos. That's what I was
Mhm,
gonna say.
mhm,
So if it's in the lingerie, if it's in a bra and underwear or whatever, if it's naked, whatever it is, take the
mhm.
progress photos. So while you're on this journey, you can start to see the changes. Because if you're not seeing even the little changes, if you see like, okay, well, I did trim a little bit off my midsection here, or I can see in my face is a little bit slimmer. But if you're not documenting the process, if you're too insecure to just document your start, then you're not ever going to really be able to gain confidence in what you've been able to accomplish. You have to see it.
Mm. I love that. I love that because a lot of people don't want to take pictures of their body or even be seen in their body. And so you're
Yeah.
saying that in order for you to even progress, you have to be vulnerable and transparent with even yourself because that's the reality
Yeah.
that you need something to compare it to.
Yeah. Put it in a hidden folder in your phone. It's just for you. It's not necessarily for anybody else to have to see, but you have to be able to have that initial start. Okay, this is my day one. This is where I'm starting, and I'm ready to see the differences along the way. So you
Yeah.
have you're good. You're setting a
Yeah.
tone, you're setting a pace, you're starting somewhere for sure.
Yeah. And for somebody who's fallen off the wagon, like they started and they had that consistency going and then they fell off and like what advice would you tell them to, to encourage them to keep going?
Go back to the basics. Just go back to just increasing your steps, just moving more, getting more sunlight. People don't understand how much just regular sunlight affects your mood and your motivation and things like that. Get outside, do that, and go back to your why. And if your why that you go back to doesn't re-inspire you, then it wasn't deep enough to begin with, and you need
Yeah.
to reevaluate that why.
Yeah. And I like that because it actually forces them to pull on the reason why they're doing it in the first place, you know?
Mhm.
A lot of times, it's not really because you need to be sexy for your spouse, but it's really because you need to get a better understanding of who you are. And it goes way further than that, way further. What is one thing from your perspective that you wish women would stop believing about, fitness and body confidence?
Uh, there's a lot. The main thing that I would say is kind of what we were talking about in the beginning is that being fit solves all your problems, and
Mhm.
that's not necessarily true. A lot of people, the main thing I hear in consults is, "I just want to lose the stomach." They're like, I want to keep my butt, I want to keep my thighs, but I want to lose the stomach." And number one, that's not possible,
Okay,
right?
I was just about to ask. I was like, is that even possible?
It's not. It's not. So it's honestly not. So you have to lose when you're the biggest misconception I think is that you can spot train, right? It's like, okay, if I do 100 crunches, I'm gonna lose my stomach and I'll be fine. Or if I do tricep extensions all day, then I'm gonna lose the back of my arm, the fat on the back of my arms. That's not how it works. When you're working out, you're burning calories overall. you're losing fat overall. You're not target training. You're not doing that. So you're not coming into this journey by saying, okay, when I lose my stomach, I'm done. That's the easiest way for you to fall off, because that's not going to happen. It's just not. So just I don't that's a huge misconception, or a huge thing that I want people to stop getting into fitness for. Right? This
Yeah.
is a journey. This is a lifestyle. You need to be able to move your body. You need to be able to be confident when moving your body. I have 90-year-old clients that are moving very well, better than my 40 and 50-year-old clients, because they're doing the simple movements. They're doing the things
Yeah.
repetitively. Consistency is just doing the same thing, doing the right things over time. You see
Yeah.
progress by just doing the right things. It doesn't take you going out and doing all of these advanced classes and all of these kind of super crazy workouts to see results. No, it's just simple things. Simplicity is better. How can I do the least amount of work to elicit the biggest response? That's all
Mhm.
you want to do.
Yeah. I love that. And do you see, like, I want to say that people who stick it through, like, do you get a lot of success stories, basically, is what I'm asking?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've got majority of my clients, they've worked with me for 3, 4+ years, whether online or in person, or they took a break and they came back, or, whatever that process looked like. But it's just, they come back because consistency helps, and doing the same things over and over again help. It may get a little bit boring, and yeah, we'll switch it up every now and then, but doing these things the right way repetitively are what gets you results long term. And yes, we have a lot of testimonials, a lot of people that increase their mobility. I have a guy who, ironically, he wasn't, well, I won't say he wasn't supposed to be working with me, but when I was at Lifetime, we had all of the trainer cards kind of stacked. So everybody's trainer card was in one place. And he came over to our trainer section and he was like, who do I want to work with? And he so happened to pick my card, and we've been together for 3 years now.
Oh,
so,
wow.
so his main story that he tells is like, if he dropped his credit card on the floor, somebody just got a new credit card, because he wasn't able to bend over and pick it up. Like his hip,
Wow.
his was so limited in his range of motion, he was not able to even bend over to pick something up. So he was able. Now he's doing that. He's bending down, tying his shoe. He doesn't have to struggle to put his shoes on anymore. It's like little things like that. Those
Yeah.
are the types of stories that we see.
I love that, because that's an example of what long-term body confidence can look like. Do you see,
Yeah.
like, a lot of cases like that too?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There are people like, they'll come, they'll hit their results, and then they'll leave, and then they'll come back. But even like now, honestly, it started this week actually. A client that she'd been with me for 2 years. She stopped training in March because she had some back surgery and everything, and she was getting back into it on her own. And now she's back training with me starting this week, and she still looks great. She's been
Yeah.
able to keep it off because she kept doing the little things in between. She didn't
Yeah.
just go back to old habits because we built new habits. It wasn't something where she was like, this is a struggle for me to maintain. No, it was something that she built upon. This is natural for her now.
Yeah. I love that, because she had her little daily steps or daily things that she implemented, and she was able to maintain that, which says that, it goes back to progress and process, that
Mhm.
you just implement small things, and over time you'll be able to start seeing results. About what time frame would you say that somebody should look for results, right?
Yeah. So I always give people a 90-day marker.
Okay.
So we start with 90 days. Our first kind of noticeable transformation should be physical transformation should be at about 90 days. Um, and I put a number on it for marketing purposes, but that's different for everybody. It's more so about the inches lost, right?
Yeah.
If you lose an average of about 3 to 6 inches within that time frame, then that's at least like two sizes.
Yeah.
Um, so this client specifically, she started at an extra large, and by her 90-day mark, she was at like a medium. Kind of, she could fit a medium, large comfortably, but she could fit a medium, where before she was at an XL. So you start seeing that type of stuff at around the 90-day mark, and now you're just building on top of that because you worked out the kinks at this point. You've
Yeah.
been able to get through the humps, and you see what program works for you. You see what exercises work best for you. You see all of these things. And I typically put about 90 days on that.
I love it. I love it because it's just giving somebody something to measure, right?
Right.
But understanding that those numbers can tweak based upon what's happening along the way.
For
But
sure.
we could be here all day talking about health and fitness and all of the things because I do want you to get the information. But if just let's just say that you're talking to one of my clients who says that this is me, I hate my body, and it's ruining my intimacy. What would you say to them?
um, okay. I would ask them, where do you want to be? You
Mm,
know, if you were to say, this is my most confident self, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does she do? Kind of picture that woman. And now how do we reverse engineer that? But we have to know what the goal is. We have to know what the root of the problem is. Is it just you? Is it the clothes that you're wearing? Do you not like the clothes that you're wearing? Is it the way that they fit? Is it this? Is it the way that like people can get so specific about the things that they dislike about themselves. So then we
yeah,
take that. We're like, okay, well, what do you like about yourself?
yeah,
Right. And then we can build off of that. We never want to build off of negativity, but we do want to know what our ultimate goal is. What is the end game? What are we working for? And then reverse engineer that. And constantly encouraging throughout the entire time. Like, this is the goal. Okay, if that's the goal, now what do we need to do today? What does she do? What does that woman do every single day? That
yeah,
most confident version of yourself. What does she do? Even if you got to lie to yourself, in between the word believe is lie, right? Even if we got to lie to ourselves in the beginning, eventually that's going to start becoming our reality.
yeah.
We have to
I love
figure out
that.
what the end goal is and start somewhere.
I love that. What would you say to her worth?
So, girl, you are good. You are good. And I would another thing I have them do is write down your affirmations. Write down
Ah,
what you actually do enjoy about yourself. What do you love about yourself? Why do you like spending time with yourself? All of those things. Come up with something. Come up with at least 5, and kind of and say that to yourself in the mirror. You
yeah,
are worth it. I am worthy. I am important. I am powerful. I'm strong. I am beautiful. I'm confident. Whatever those affirmations look like, you need to say that to yourself every single day until you start believing it. Because
uh,
you a lot of the times you have it. Right? You have it. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have to be able to see it for yourself.
yeah. I love that because people really do underestimate the power of a good affirmation.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
And a lot
really
of
do.
times I think a lot of clients they avoid it because they
Yeah,
don't necessarily believe it. They know that that's what they want, but that's why you just have to continuously write it down, write the vision, make it plain, speak it, see it, think it, feel it, right? All of those things. So you say it in the mirrors, you're writing it down, you're saying it to yourself, and then eventually it starts to become your reality.
yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for, sharing all of this good information. It's definitely going to be able to help somebody speak a little bit more positively about their body because it does begin in the mind. But before we go, I want to give you an opportunity to let everybody know where they can find you, how to reach you, your social media, all those good things.
Yeah, so I am on all social media platforms at Breezy Fitco, BreezyFitco. You can find me on any platform on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, at all of those. And I'm actually doing a cohort. So if you are somebody that is looking to build confidence through strength and conditioning, to learn how to finally balance health and wellness alongside your business, your career, to learn how to be more intimate with your spouse and build that dream body that you're looking for, then I am launching a cohort with limited spots October 6th. And then we'll put the application for that somewhere in the description. Love to see you
Yes.
guys in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again, Coach Breezy. Listen, let me just say this because I haven't been like fully on board, but I've been on board. I just want to say, because remember when I came to you, I had a goal, I think it was like 30 something pounds. It was 30 pounds. I've lost 14, so I just wanted to put that on
Okay.
camera to let you know that I have been
Congratulations.
working on my goals,
I love that. I
even
love
though I
that.
haven't been there fully. But thank you for just sharing and helping people understand that it really is about the mindset. It's not really about the physical appearance, about how you feel mentally, emotionally. Once you can get that together and understand that it's going to take some time, it's going to be a process, and you start doing little things, you will get there eventually. Sexy begins in the mind. Okay. I want to say that sexy begins in the mind. As long as you mentally feed yourself and affirm yourself and believe in yourself, then you will feel sexy, and that will transfer into the bedroom. Follow Coach Breezy, do some of the little tips and the practical things that she did mention, because it's going to help. It's going to help you enhance. It's going to help you get that mindset together. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Is there anything else that you want to say to the audience before we go?
I just want to ask you one thing.
Yes.
What have you learned on this journey? Because we started together, but you've really been doing this journey yourself. What have you
Yeah.
learned so far that could help your people?
To keep going.
Okay.
And the reason why I had asked that consistency question is because I fall off sometimes, because a lot of life happens around me. And sometimes when life is happening, it's one of those things where I'm not really sure what to do here. And so once I'm able to pick myself back up, just go back to it, just get back to it. And the goal is to not stop. So even if I did something that said, okay, I knew I was not going to eat this meal today and I ate it, then tomorrow I'm just eat a salad and I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna work out, and just keep doing that consistently until it becomes a habit. When I tell you, when I went on that scale on Monday, because it was just Monday when I went on the scale, and I was like, ooh, it's working. That gave me enough motivation to say, just continuously work, because watching the little numbers move, because I think it was like 3 months ago, maybe
Yeah.
about 3 months ago, somewhere around there, when I came to you the first time, watching the little progress that I have made, even with me falling off, made me say, what if I just do what I'm supposed to do and just go hard? Then I can accomplish what I want to a lot faster. And when I saw that number, I was like, man, it's really working. Let me go ahead and keep moving, keep being mobile, keep eating healthier, right? And keep just doing the thing. So it's really just that.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, you and your audience can come to my free boot camp. Free for you guys. I'm going to invite you guys for free. I don't know when this is coming out, but if it comes out before September 20th, come see us at the Union Fit Hub at noon. We'll be doing a boot camp for my community.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, bye.